Taxes are so unfair. I'm just never gonna declare my income.
I hate that the government keeps increasing tax.
Well, I'm just not gonna pay them.
I hate tax, Cinder!
I'm Amy.
And I'm Anna, and we've got some tax solutions for you. Tax. We all pay it, we all know it, but what is it actually?
Tax is a major source of Crown revenue that has accounted for 75.6 of the 81.8 billion of government revenue.
Even though it's essential, many New Zealanders still see it as a burden rather than a way to improve our country.
Here's where a fair tax system comes in. If we can find the best possible way of taxing the public, then we can ensure the best possible lives for our citizens without crippling our economy, as well as ensuring multiculture is enriched.
How? We have to make the distinction between equitable and equal first. Equality is when everything is done the same for everyone, even if their circumstances are different.
Whilst on paper, equality may seem fair, in reality we know that not everyone's lives are the same, and not everyone can afford to pay the same amount of tax.
But then there's equity, when the tax system is fair for everyone, but not equal per se. Ensuring our tax system in New Zealand is progressive and equitable is crucial in improving the lives of the public.
Many tax policies may sound as if they are improving everyone's lives. However, in essence, they may be regressive and hurting the less fortunate more than they hurt the rich.
Our first tax policy aims to encourage healthier eating habits in New Zealand. We believe one of the best ways to begin implementing this is to reduce GST on New Zealand-grown fruits and vegetables.
Doing this will benefit all consumers in New Zealand, no matter their income, as it is going to encourage healthier eating habits by making fruits and vegetables more affordable. This is one of the best ways to tackle New Zealand's obesity figures, which indicate that we are the country with the third highest obesity rate in the world.
As well as benefiting New Zealand consumers, removing taxes on New Zealand-grown fruits and vegetables will benefit those producers. With increased demand, there will be more employment opportunities available within the sector, which will assist in lowering New Zealand's unemployment rate of 4.5%.
Our second policy is something we thought was so simple, yet it has been constantly passed over considering it hasn't been changed since October 2010. That's 8 years that our highest tax bracket has remained at 33%. Whilst the gap between the highest and lowest income earners is increasing, we haven't made amends to our income tax levels to identify this.
That's why we strongly believe that a change in the tax brackets is in order. In the very least, an additional tax bracket being introduced for the top 3% of New Zealanders, earning over $150,000 annually.
Keep in mind, these are people that can afford this.
It is clear New Zealand has one of the lowest tax ranges for any developed country. But the difference between us and them is far too significant.
Belgium, for example, has a GDP per capita almost identical to ours, yet their lowest tax bracket of 30% is similar to our highest of 33%. This shows that we need to stop being so lenient on the richest of the population.
The income that comes from this policy can be used in a variety of different ways, such as by revitalising morines, considering staying connected with friends and family is a key value for hapu or iwi. Our last policy is to introduce a tax on environmentally harmful products. If we're already taxing goods that harm humans, why haven't we been taxing goods that harm the environment?
Businesses all around New Zealand charge their customers for plastic bag usage, but the profits go back into the pockets of the multi-million-dollar businesses. Isn't it time that we use some of these earnings to go back into the environment?
That's why we are suggesting the government add a per-unit tax on the purchase of plastic bags. That way any businesses using plastic bags need to reconsider this.
In 2002, Ireland put in place a mandatory charge for plastic bags of 24 cents, which reduced their consumption by 95%, and the amount they made would go back towards the Environment Fund.
We're not suggesting a complete and utter ban, as was done in Kenya, because this would require lots of supervision and would be costly, not something our government needs right now.
Some of the revenue the government do make from this tax could be put back into the environment by providing extra funding to organisations ensuring the preservation of Māori heritage sites. Our tax policy ideas aren't wild.
They aren't crazy.
They're perfectly reasonable things that other countries have already implemented.
These three policies are things that have been constantly talked about and thought of, but never put into action.
So we're here today to remind all of you watching that sometimes the most effective changes are right in front of our very eyes.
We love tax! I'll pay my tax